Aquarius, my dear friend, if you are listening to these words today, on this 2nd day of August, 2026, stop everything for a moment and take a deep, slow breath. Something profound has brought you to this precise moment. You have walked through a long season of quiet endurance, holding burdens that very few people around you have ever truly seen or understood. You carry a mind that sees far into the horizon, a heart that cares deeply for the world, yet so often you have felt strangely alone, as if you were speaking a language no one else could hear. In the quiet hours of the night, when the world went still, you offered up a silent prayer, a deep, wordless longing for relief, for clarity, for a sign that your struggle has not been in vain. I am here to tell you that the miracle you have prayed for is not coming from some distant place outside of you. It is arriving right now. It is unfolding in this exact moment through the opening of your own consciousness. The universe has heard the quiet cry of your spirit, and the seeds of good karma you planted in seasons of darkness are finally bursting into bloom. Do not turn away, Aquarius. Stay with me until the very end of this teaching, because what I am about to share with you will unlock the peace you have been seeking for years. Seeker, if this message found you today, this is not random. The Buddha taught that nothing arises without causes and conditions. If these words have found you today, your journey has already begun. There is a lesson your heart is ready to understand. I am Master Tenzin, a humble monk devoted to preserving the timeless wisdom of the Dharma. What you are about to hear is an ancient teaching inspired by the Buddha's path. A lesson to free the mind from suffering, awaken inner peace, and illuminate the road to enlightenment. As an Aquarius, you are symbolized by the noble water-bearer, the one who carries the heavy vessel of life, giving water to nourish the thirsty world. Yet how often have you poured out your energy, your wisdom, your comfort, and your intellect for others, while leaving your own inner vessel completely dry? You spend so much of your life living inside your analytical mind, observing the world from a distance, trying to understand everything, solve everything, and fix everything. But the mind, when left to run endlessly without the warmth of the heart, becomes a lonely fortress. You have used your brilliant intelligence as armor to protect yourself from being hurt, from being let down, and from being misunderstood. But that very armor has kept you feeling isolated from the very warmth and connection you secretly crave. The Buddha taught that all suffering springs from attachment. And for you, Aquarius, the subtle attachment you hold is not always to material things, but to your thoughts, your high expectations, and your need to make sense of a world that so often feels chaotic and unjust. On this day, August 2nd, 2026, a great spiritual shift is taking place within your karmic field. The burden you have carried in your mind is ready to be laid down. The miracle you have prayed for begins when you realize that you no longer need to figure everything out in order to be safe. You do not need to control the outcome to experience peace. The true miracle is the moment your intellect bows to the wisdom of your heart, allowing you to drop the heavy armor and finally receive the grace, comfort, and relief that life has been waiting to bestow upon you. Imagine a traveler in a parched landscape who carries a massive jug of clear water upon his shoulder. He walks from village to village, pouring a cool drop for every tired soul he meets. Yet his own lips remain cracked, his throat dry, and his strength steadily fading because he believes his only purpose is to carry the weight for others. You have been that traveler for far too long, Aquarius. You have given your light to everyone else while sitting in the dark yourself. But true wisdom begins when you realize that you cannot quench the thirst of the world if your own inner reservoir is empty. Today, the teachings of the Dharma invite you to lower that heavy jug to the ground. Take a sip of your own kindness. Rest your tired shoulders. Recognize that your true value does not come from how much you fix, how much you produce, or how perfectly you solve the dilemmas of those around you. You are worthy of peace simply because you are here, breathing, living, and carrying a spark of divine awareness within your chest. A timeless Buddhist guide has just been released, created to help you carry the wisdom of the Buddha into every day of your life, long after this video ends. If your mind has been overwhelmed, your heart burdened, or your path uncertain, this may be exactly what you've been searching for. For more than 2,500 years, the teachings of the Buddha have helped millions of people overcome fear, anxiety, attachment, anger, and suffering. Now, those timeless teachings have been gathered into one powerful collection. The Buddhist Wisdom Bible 365 Ancient Teachings for Inner Peace, Success and Happiness is a 250-page treasury of timeless wisdom featuring 365 profound Buddhist teachings designed to help you cultivate inner peace, emotional resilience, clarity, wisdom, success, and lasting happiness. One lesson each day. You also receive 5 exclusive bonus guides carefully selected to deepen your understanding of Buddhist philosophy and help you apply these ancient principles to your daily life. Are you ready to transform your mind and change your life, one teaching at a time? Get instant access through the first pinned comment. Special launch pricing is available for the next 72 hours. Think back over the past few years of your life, Aquarius. How many times have you sat alone in a room, surrounded by people, yet feeling completely detached? You have a rare gift, a visionary spirit that sees truth before others can even catch a glimpse of it. But this gift has often felt like a quiet curse. When you see what could be, it is painful to witness what currently is. You look at your relationships, your career, your personal life, and you feel a profound restlessness because reality has not matched the noble vision in your mind. This tension between expectation and reality is what the Buddha called dukkha, the friction of suffering. You suffer not because the world is broken, but because you are holding onto a rigid blueprint of how the world ought to be. When people fail to understand your intentions, when situations do not align with your high standards, or when life feels painfully slow, your mind withdraws into detachment. You pull away, telling yourself that it is safer to rely only on yourself. But spiritual isolation is not true freedom. True freedom is learning to remain open, compassionate, and present, even when life is imperfect. Consider how an archer aims at a target in the wind. If the archer insists that the wind must stop blowing before he releases his arrow, he will stand frozen forever, his shoulders aching with strain. But if he accepts the wind, adjusts his stance, and releases the arrow with a calm heart, he masters the art of living in harmony with reality. You have been waiting for the wind of life to stop blowing. You have been waiting for circumstances to align perfectly before you allow yourself to feel safe, happy, and at peace. But life is an ever-shifting breeze. People will make mistakes, plans will change, and the physical world will always have its quiet chaos. The Buddha taught that peace is not the absence of chaos outside of you, but the presence of stillness within you. When you demand that reality matches your ideal picture, you build a prison out of your own high expectations. But when you relax your grasp on how things should be, you open your eyes to the subtle beauty of how things actually are. Every flaw in another person, every unexpected detour in your plans is not a failure of the universe. It is a sacred invitation to practice patience, flexibility, and deep understanding. You carry an extraordinary capacity to innovate, to inspire, and to uplift humanity. But to bring your highest visions into reality, you must first learn to love the world in its raw, unpolished state. If these words are touching your heart right now, I invite you to pause for a second. Leave a comment below saying, "I am ready to receive my miracle," or share what heavy burden your heart is ready to release today. When you speak your truth, you break the spell of isolation. Take a moment to like this video so these timeless teachings can reach another soul who needs them today, and subscribe to our channel to walk this path of awakening together with our spiritual family. To understand the miracle that is arriving for you today, you must understand what a true miracle is in the light of the Dharma. A miracle is not magic that breaks the laws of nature. A miracle is the sudden awakening of wisdom within your own mind. A moment of supreme clarity where a knot that has been tied in your heart for years suddenly unravels. For a long time, you have prayed for an external situation to change. You prayed for a financial breakthrough, a relationship to heal, a career obstacle to vanish, or a heavy emotional cloud to lift. And while those physical changes are indeed beginning to manifest for you now, the greatest miracle is the inner transformation that makes those outward blessings possible. In Buddhist philosophy, we speak of metta, the practice of unconditional loving kindness. Aquarius, you have given your intelligence and energy to humanity, but have you offered metta to yourself? Have you sat with your own wounded inner child with the same patience and gentle compassion you so generously offer to others? The miracle of August 2nd is the soft opening of your heart toward your own self. You are finally giving yourself permission to stop striving, to stop proving your worth, and to stop carrying the weight of the universe on your shoulders. Think of a tight fist that has been clenched for years. The muscles are tired, the knuckles are white, and the palm is bruised from its own pressure. The fist believes it must remain closed to protect itself from danger, unaware that by holding so tightly, it is causing its own constant pain. The moment that fist begins to relax finger by finger, it discovers that opening up does not bring destruction, it brings immediate relief. It suddenly becomes capable of receiving the gentle rain, the warm sunlight, and the gifts that have always been floating nearby. Your heart, Aquarius, has been like that tight fist. You closed it to protect yourself from betrayal, disappointment, and the feeling of being misunderstood. You told yourself that emotional detachment was strength. But true strength is not coldness. True strength is the courage to remain tender in a rough world. When you practice metta toward yourself, you speak soft, forgiving words to those quiet parts of your mind that still feel ashamed of past mistakes. You tell yourself, it is all right that I did not know then what I know now. It is all right that I struggled. I forgive myself for putting so much pressure on my own spirit. When you embrace yourself with this boundless compassion, the karmic energy around you shifts instantly. The heavy clouds dissolve, and the path forward becomes clear and bright. Consider the nature of water, the element that your sign carries so beautifully. Water is soft, fluid, and gentle, yet over time it can carve through the hardest stone, not through brute force, but through constant, quiet persistence. Water does not fight against the rocks in its stream. It simply flows around them, adapting to every contour, finding the lowest path, and ultimately filling every empty space with life. For too long, Aquarius, you have acted like a wave crashing against rigid walls, trying to force life to bend to your mental will. You have spent immense energy worrying about the future, analyzing every possible scenario, preparing yourself for disappointment before it even occurs. But fear of suffering is suffering itself. The Buddha taught the principle of anicca, the law of impermanence. Everything in this physical world arises, transforms, and passes away. Your current struggles, your past heartbreaks, your period of feeling stagnant or misunderstood, none of these conditions are permanent. They were simply clouds passing through the vast, open sky of your true nature. Today, the storm clouds are dissipating, and the brilliant sun of your true potential is shining through. Reflect on a wide, ancient river winding its way down from the high mountains toward the vast ocean. Along its long journey, the river encounters giant boulders, narrow canyons, and steep drops. If the river possessed a human mind, it might stop at the first rock and cry out in frustration, asking why its path must be so difficult and unfair. It might exhaust itself trying to push the rock out of the way. But the river does not waste its energy fighting reality. It remembers its true nature as water. It softly rolls over the obstacles, trickles through the small cracks, or gently curves around the obstruction, knowing with quiet certainty that its ultimate destiny is the vast and peaceful sea. You are that river, Aquarius. The obstacles you faced in recent years were not put there to ruin your life. They were put there to teach you the ancient wisdom of flowing water. They were designed to strip away your rigid attachments and force you to discover your deeper, indestructible strength. When you align your spirit with anicca, you stop fearing change. You realize that a hard season is not a permanent trap. It is merely a passing landscape on your journey toward total spiritual freedom. When you look back at the prayers you offered in your darkest moments, you might realize that what you were really asking for was peace of mind. You wanted to wake up in the morning without that subtle tightness in your chest, without that lingering dread about what tomorrow might bring. You wanted to feel that you belong, that your life has deep purpose, and that your efforts are recognized and valued. The Buddha revealed that true peace does not depend on external circumstances being perfect. It depends on your internal relationship with the present moment. When you accept this moment exactly as it is, without resistance, without judgment, without clinging, the mind becomes as calm and still as a mountain lake. From that place of deep stillness, absolute clarity emerges. Answers that eluded you for years suddenly appear effortlessly. Opportunities that seemed blocked suddenly open up. People who drifted away or caused you pain no longer hold power over your emotions. This is the profound shift happening for you right now. You are stepping out of the noisy storm of your thoughts and stepping into the silent power of your awakened heart. Picture a majestic mountain lake early in the morning before the wind has begun to stir. The surface of the water is so perfectly smooth and unruffled that it acts as a flawless mirror, reflecting the grand snow-capped peaks, the tall pine trees, and the clear blue sky above with pristine accuracy. If you throw a small stone into that quiet water, ripples spread across the surface, distorting the reflections and making everything look fractured and unstable. For a long time, your analytical mind has been like that disturbed lake, constantly tossed by the stones of overthinking, anxiety, and mental fatigue. You looked into the waters of your life and saw only broken reflections, leading you to believe that your world was fragmented and uncertain. But the water itself was never broken, only its surface was disturbed. Today, Master Tenzin urges you to stop throwing stones of worry into the waters of your consciousness. Sit quietly by the shore of your inner being. Let the ripples settle down naturally. Do not try to force the water to be still through effort, for adding effort is like slapping the water with your hands, creating even more ripples. Simply sit back, breathe deeply, and allow the quiet nature of your true self to restore its own calm. When the lake of your mind becomes still once more, you will see reality clearly. You will see that the solutions to your financial, personal, and emotional burdens were already there all along, waiting quietly beneath the noise of your racing thoughts. Let us speak deeply about your relationships, Aquarius, for this is where your miracle will bring the most profound healing. Because you value independence and intellectual freedom so fiercely, you have sometimes built invisible walls around your heart. You may have experienced betrayal, emotional neglect, or deep misunderstanding in your past. Someone you trusted may have taken your generosity for granted, or failed to see the tender, vulnerable soul behind your clever mind. Those wounds created a silent belief within you that it is safer to keep people at a distance, to be helpful but never truly seen, to be kind but never truly vulnerable. But the Dharma teaches us the profound truth of pratyasamutpada, interconnectedness. No single being exists in isolation. We are all threads woven into the same vast tapestry of existence. By guarding your heart so tightly, you have not only kept out pain, you have also blocked the flow of deep love, genuine intimacy, and authentic support from entering your life. Today, the universe is inviting you to drop the fear. The miracle arriving in your life includes the arrival of true spiritual companions, souls who will see you, honor your uniqueness, respect your freedom, and love you not for what you do, but for who you truly are. Think of a tall, solitary tree standing on top of an exposed hill. It braves the cold winds, holds its branches high, and takes pride in its solitary strength. Yet when a powerful storm rolls across the valley, that isolated tree must bear the full force of the gale alone, risking being snapped at the trunk because its roots have no connection to others. In a dense ancient forest, however, the trees below send their roots deep into the earth, intertwining with one another in a silent, living web beneath the surface. When the violent storm strikes the forest, no single tree stands alone. The wind is shared across thousands of branches, and the root system holds every tree firm and secure. My dear friend, you are not meant to survive life as a solitary tree on a windy hill. Your desire for independence is noble, but independence without connection leads to a cold and weary existence. In Buddhist teachings, we cherish the concept of kalyana mitta, noble spiritual friends who walk beside us on the path to awakening. The universe is clearing away the toxic, superficial, and draining connections from your past to make room for these genuine spiritual bonds. As you open your heart and let down your defensive armor, you will naturally draw toward you souls who mirror your high values, appreciate your deep mind, and nourish your spirit. You will no longer have to explain your worth to people who refuse to see it. You will find comfort, rest, and mutual respect in relationships that feel light, effortless, and deeply sacred. A timeless Buddhist guide has just been released, created to help you carry the wisdom of the Buddha into every day of your life, long after this video ends. If your mind has been overwhelmed, your heart burdened, or your path uncertain, this may be exactly what you've been searching for. For more than 2,500 years, the teachings of the Buddha have helped millions of people overcome fear, anxiety, attachment, anger, and suffering. Now, those timeless teachings have been gathered into one powerful collection, the Buddhist Wisdom Bible. 365 Ancient Teachings for Inner Peace, Success and Happiness is a 250-page treasury of timeless wisdom, featuring 365 profound Buddhist teachings designed to help you cultivate inner peace, emotional resilience, clarity, wisdom, success, and lasting happiness. 1 lesson. Each day, you'll also receive 5 exclusive bonus guides carefully selected to deepen your understanding of Buddhist philosophy and help you apply these ancient principles to your daily life. Are you ready to transform your mind and change your life, one teaching at a time? Get instant access through the first pinned comment. Special launch pricing is available for the next 72 hours. As we bring this sacred teaching to a close your eyes for a moment if it is safe to do so, and place your hand over your heart. Feel the steady, gentle rhythm of your life force beating within you. You have survived every single hard day you have ever faced. You have walked through valleys of doubt, loneliness, and exhaustion. Yet here you are, standing on the threshold of a new dawn. On this day, August 2nd, 2026, let go of the past that no longer serves you. Forgive those who did not know how to love you. Forgive yourself for the times you lost your way or doubted your worth. Trust that the miracle you have prayed for is not just a passing moment of good luck, but the natural ripening of your spiritual journey. You are a vessel of light, wisdom, and peace. Pour out your love freely, but remember to keep your own vessel full through daily stillness, quiet reflection, and self-compassion. Walk forward with confidence, Aquarius. The universe is walking beside you, step by step, breath by breath. Imagine standing at the edge of a serene mountain peak just as the early rays of the morning sun begin to crest over the horizon. The dark shadows of the long night are retreating into the valleys below, revealing a wide, untamed landscape bathed in soft, golden light. The air is crisp, cool, and filled with the promise of a fresh beginning. That morning's sun is the light of your own awakening consciousness. The shadows you leave behind are the doubts, regrets, and overthinking that once kept your spirit heavy. You do not need to look back at the darkness, for it has no power over the light that is rising within you right now. Take a deep, intentional breath into your lungs. Feel the life force filling your entire body, renewing every cell, clearing every mental cloud, and restoring your natural vitality. As you exhale, let go of every remaining ounce of tension, fear, and control. Release the need to know how every detail of your future will unfold. Trust the wisdom of the Dharma. Trust that the good seeds you have planted through your kindness, your endurance, and your noble heart are yielding a bountiful harvest of peace, harmony, and true fulfillment. You are ready. Your heart is open, your mind is still, and your spirit is free. May you be free from suffering. May you be filled with deep, unshakable peace. May you walk the path of true liberation with a joyful, open heart. Peace, peace, peace to you and all living beings.